Hi everyone, welcome to the second section for the day. This Q&A section is for postgraduate part-time students. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jane and I am the student union rep for this year for postgraduate students. This Q&A section is being facilitated by the Marcoms team. All thanks to Andrew Cummings and Laura Soms. First of all, we will be introducing our wonderful speakers for the day. Starting with Emma.
Hi, my name's Emma Kidd and I'm the Dean for Postgraduate Studies for the College of Biomedical and Life Sciences.
Thank you, Emma, for joining us. We move into Paul.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Jones. I work in University IT. I'm a service manager predominantly for tools relating to education.
Thank you, Paul. The main objective for this Q&A section is to provide answers to most of the questions you have submitted earlier on, and we are aiming to understand where there are needs for prioritization in terms of your different student life experiences so far. So feel free to ask questions where necessary as the section progresses. So we'll be moving directly to the now all the questions that we have received, they're very few, but we kind of group them into different themes, to be able to conserve time. So the first theme that we'll be moving to is policy. Emma Kidd will be taking this. So the first question is, please, can you explain my options if I decide to ask for more extensions in some assessments? I am trying to balance my new job with my courses being online.
So you can apply for a 2-week extension to assessments, coursework, for example, and using the tool in Sims. This is for COVID-related extensions. It would not normally be something for work, so you are expected to fit your work. If you get a part-time job, you're expected to fit that in around your course. So the extensions that we would normally grant would be, for example, for illness, or if you had childcare issues due to COVID-19 or something like that. It would not normally be for work-related requirements, because you're supposed to prioritize your university studies rather than any other employment.
All right, thank you, Emma. The second question is the safety net still applicable for this year?
So that's quite a complicated question. It depends on when you started your degree. If you just started your degree in the year 1920, then the safety net is still applicable to you because you undertook assessments in that year. So aspects of it will still apply to you. However, if you started your degree in September, anytime from September 2020 onwards, then the safety net does not apply, because it was put in place because we had to change things very rapidly due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the university shutdown. However, if you begin in September of this year, then we don't need the safety net policy, because you already know that everything is going to be online, and we had already planned for that. So the safety net policy is not relevant.
Thank you, Emma. The third question is, I heard that there is a new remote study policy. Where can I access this, and what is it all about?
So the remote study policy was introduced from the beginning of this semester. So it's new for the university, but it's actually been up and running for several weeks. It's available through Sims, and the option for remote study in the second semester will go live next Monday. And you will only be able to see it if your course allows you to have remote study. So remote study is for students who for some reason cannot be in Cardiff when we would normally be. But there are some programs who have a variety of requirements where then you're not allowed to have remote study. So if you're on one of those programs, your school should already have told you, and the option will not be available to you in Sims. What it allows you to do is to study remotely. So that could be staying in Cardiff but not going to the university for any face-to-face sessions, or it could be staying wherever you live, and that could be either elsewhere in the UK or somewhere abroad for international and EU students.
All right, Thank you very much, Emma. We are going to ask the next question to Paul. It's under the team communications. So the first question is, I feel like there are more communications going out to full-time students than us, the part-time students. The information is not quite far-reaching. Can anything be done about this?
Okay, so it will pretty depend on exactly what the communication is about. So, for instance, the student news and Claire Morgan's communications, they go out to all students. Each school and department may have their own way of contacting students within their schools and departments. As an example from IT's perspective, if we have any outages or anything that we need to inform students about, we will put things on the intranet because that's the way we can get to everyone. If it's relating to course-related things, so something specific to your school, I'd suggest probably contacting the school in the first instance. So a lot of this it's more questions and answers maybe, but it'll be more around what the communication you're expecting, I think, in the first instance, to then know who to contact around how widely it's going. I don't know if Emma has anything to add to that.
What I was going to add was that the communications that are going out from Claire Morgan are going to every single student in the university, regardless of their mode of study, whether they're full-time or part-time. So some of the information in those communications might not be relevant to you, but some of it will be relevant. So the reason that we're not communicating, for example, to part-time students only is that there will be duplication, because you would get the other emails as well. So there would be duplication of information. And as Paul said, if there is anything specific for you, that would usually be directly related to your program. So you would actually hear possibly from your program director and maybe from your school. So that's why we haven't been communicating with you as a group specifically. So please do read Claire Morgan's emails, because they do contain a lot of very useful information.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Emma. The second question on the communication is, can Panopto recordings be downloaded? I have tried, but can't seem to be getting anywhere with it.
Okay, so it is technically possible to download Panopto recordings. However, the university has taken the decision to disable this as default. This is because there's a risk that if someone downloaded a recording and then uploaded it to social media or to some other random website somewhere, it could potentially lead to issues for the staff and maybe even for the university as a whole. Having said that, the academic for that module can override that setting if they need to. However, they'd need to deem it appropriate, and we would expect them to discuss that option with other staff and the school manager and things before maybe facilitating that. So if there is something you desperately need or you feel should be available for downloading rather than just viewing through Panopto, then contact your module leader or your program leader. But generally, that's why we put in the default of it not being able to be downloaded. Hope that sort of answers the question. Emma, you seem...
Yeah, I was going to add, what most you could ask members of staff to provide is for example, PowerPoint slides that go with the Panopto recording, because those you would be able to download, and then you would be able to make notes. I appreciate you wouldn't have the audio, but you would then have the actual slides themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you very much, Emma. Thank you, Paul. We'll be going to the third team, and that's on student support services. The first question is, what is the difference between student support service within the university and the one at the students' union?
So the student support service is actually run by the university, and that brings together all the services in the university which cover all matters concerning students. The students' union also have some services which are separate. So, for example, student advice is one of those, and you can also talk to the various student offices, such as people like Jane. So they are different. One is run by the university and the other by the students' union, and perhaps you don't appreciate, but the students' union is actually a separate entity to the university. So although it sits within the university and it provides services to the students, it is actually legally a separate entity. So therefore the two sets of services they're complementary, and there's a lot of communication between them, but they're not exactly the same. I don't know, Jane, if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, I guess the student support, as Emma have already said, sits on the university, and the student advice and money sits on the union. And most of the things that they do is around advice on estimating circumstances and issues around your finances and housing issues and all of that. And we do more of the advocacy and more of signposting and directing. And but this student support, as the name goes, is there to support you basically with a lot of things in terms of your academics and then funding and all of that. So it just, they complement each other basically, but they sit differently. But yeah. And the second question is, will there be a counseling line to reach out to during the holiday?
There will be, yes. There won't be the support set, the counselling that's provided by student support, but the university have engaged a private contractor, and they will provide a range of servicing, and this is available 24 hours a day. There's also Chatline, Student Connect as well will be available. I know that this information will be provided to students, I believe. If it hasn't already been provided, it will be provided early next week. So all students will be provided with this information, and it's relevant to all students, regardless of where you are, whether you're in Cardiff, whether you're abroad, whether you're part-time or full-time. This is generic provision for all students at Cardiff University.
Okay, thank you very much, Emma. The last question is, I was at the Heath Park campus the other day and couldn't move around easily. Is there a map or something?
I'm assuming by move around easily, you mean that you couldn't find where you were supposed to go. There are maps on the site. They mainly deal with the hospital because essentially that's where the main hospital is in Cardiff. There are very good maps available on the intranet. There's a PDF, there's downloadable maps, and I believe in the student app as well, there's some information about where buildings are. I'm not sure if it covers the Heath Park campus, but there's definitely maps available online on the internet for the Heath Park campus.
All right, thank you very much, Emma. Well, this is the end of the prepared questions. This is the end of the question basically, and this is the end of the section. But before we close, I have some few updates. And around the study cafe, our study cafe will be open till the 18th of December from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Till the 18th of December, and it still runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then there are study spaces within the library. They'll be open till the 18th of December. And there is the Butte Library, the Art and Social Library, Trephitic Health Library, and the Science Library. And only the Health Library and Julia Hodges Library will be open during the Christmas break for study, strictly for study. If you need more information on the library services available during the holiday, basically, you can find all information on the internet. And there are most of the university's teaching will be moved online from next week, Monday, to comply with the Welsh government guidelines. Also, all the information you need around whether you're leaving Cardiff for Christmas or staying in Cardiff, or you need to know the support and well-being services available during the Christmas recess, or you want to know what would be happening over Christmas, you can find all this information on the intranet as well. And there are other events like the Winter Showcase event, which the societies that sit under the Student Union have organized, and they have been running from the 1st of December, and they will be running to the 12th of December. There are varieties of events. Just find the one that you're most interested in and get involved in any of them. Also, there is carols around the tree. You can find that information on the internet as well. It will be on the 17th of December, and it will be going live on YouTube by 4 p.m. if I'm correct with this. And then I do have a few events also over the Christmas. There'll be the International Postgraduate Students Network and Greet on the 18th of December, and that will be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then there's the International Postgraduate Virtual Dinner Party from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the 25th of December. And then on the 31st of January next year, there will be postgraduate meet and mingle, of course, socially distanced at the White Plus. The details are online on Cardiff Students website, so you can access that also through the postgraduate What's On events webpage. So basically, I do know that for most of us, there would be that point where, during this Christmas holiday, we would have to stay for the sake of the pandemic, for the sake of keeping everyone safe, and for the in terms of the situation that we are all in, and the pandemic and all of that. I do know that some of you might not exactly be able to meet your loved ones during this Christmas period, and for most of you, there are already plans from next year that this year you would get that chance to meet with your loved ones, and then this happened, and I do understand the struggles and the challenges that might come with this, and especially for our students that might be struggling through mental health issues. I want you to know that we have support services that will be available during the Christmas break, and you should, and please get in touch with these services. Please get in touch with all the support, and please reach out if you need to reach out. Please reach out. There will be support available for you during this recess. And well, I honestly want to thank everyone for joining this section, and I want to thank our two most wonderful speakers for the day, Emma Cade and Paul Jones, for joining this section. I mean, none of this would have been possible if they didn't show over, they brought out their time for this, and I am so grateful for them being here and for them being a part of this. And I hope that we were able to answer most of your questions, and I hope that we are able to answer most of your questions. But if there are more, you can also go through the full-time and distant learners video. There were so many other topics that were covered there that weren't covered here. So the two videos complement each other. So try and find the other link and watch both videos. They will provide a whole picture. They will provide the full details of most of the questions that you would normally have, or you would probably still have, and all of that. But if you still have other questions, you can submit them, and we'll get to them after this event as well. So Emma, Paul, any of you have any closing remarks?
I just wanted to say thank you very much indeed for joining us. I hope we've managed to answer your questions. And as Jane said, the PGT Live Event 1, we answered some questions as well, which will be relevant to you. So please do listen to that recording as well. And it just remains for me to say that I hope if you are still in Cardiff or wherever you are, that you manage to have some time off and have a bit of rest and recuperation over the Christmas period, because it's been a very tiring first semester, we know that. And so that you're ready and prepared to start afresh in January. Thank you.
And if I could just add that if you are staying in Cardiff, or indeed even if you're travelling home for Christmas, if you do need to reach out to any friends and family, feel free to use the university provided Zoom service. It's not just for studying and things, it can be used for personal calls as well. So again, it's a strange situation. I know people will be feeling a bit lonely at times, so please feel free to use that. Otherwise, I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Emma. We will be publishing this video on cardiffstudent.com website on the postgraduate webpage. So keep an eye for that. And well, we are going to give a shout out to Rob Gossage, for his wonderful support. Well, he is not here, but he has been really supportive of this event. So shout out to Rob, shout out to Julie, and well, I guess I would say Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you all have a great break, and I hope you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas. And well, do take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Well, all the best. See you in January.